Hi guys, welcome to this upload for you guys here exclusively on youtube.com. Thank you ever so much for you guys keep hitting that subscribe button as well as obviously hitting that play button. I'm up to 13 subscribers now. That's just mind blowing. Just think about it. That's near enough averaging one subscriber per video. That's great. So you want someone honestly towards talk about professional wrestling that doesn't sugarcoat anything? You've come to the right place. Now, I want to say I would have done my review straight after Backlash, but I was absolutely burned out. I had a long day yesterday. I went to the boxing in Nottingham Arena. I watched Lee Woods get defeated, which kind of sucks because it's his home city, and he was literally he had the first 6 rounds perfectly, and then all of a sudden he just eased off the pressure and then left him side wide open. You know, there was other good fights on that card, but that was the main event. Sadly, he jumped a weight class, if I remember rightly. He's not had a fight in over 2 years. Went with my good old friend Aidan Brown. Big shout out to you, my friend. That we had a good time. You know, we went for the undercard. We was talking, had a few laughs. You know, it's a good crack. You know, he's a good lad, Aidan is. At some point I may have him on my show, so stay tuned for that just in case. But I really do enjoy talking about professional wrestling, but the problem is what I've got a problem with is promoting like I used to. Now, I've shared my stuff on Facebook pages. Yeah, granted some pages don't like it when I post videos. The class is spam or self-promotion. Has people lost the plot when it comes to social media? What the whole idea was, when it was set out to be sociable, share your point of views and everything. But don't get me wrong, I do find it harder to launch a new channel. Yes, I know I'm going out my depth of launching a new channel in 2025. It's not like how it was in 2020 where you could actually, like you do video responses, you could tag your video into someone else's video and you get yourself noticed that way. You just got to do the grind. You know, I'm grateful for the people that actually do tune in. If one person tunes in, one person does. If 2 people do, it blows me away. But to say I've got already 30 subscribers, big shout out to every single one of you guys. You know, you guys make it worthwhile to talk about professional wrestling. Now, obviously, Backlash happened last night, and all I can say is I'll stand by my word by this, that I felt this card was going to be underwhelming. You know, it proven to be wrong, because I felt like the opener with Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Damian Priest, clinic of a bloody fail 4-way. You know, there was actually how you put it, Jacob Fatu retained, but he was confused because Jacob Fatu was absolutely dumbfounded what actually happened in that match. You know, everything that he did, put all the offense in. You didn't know which way you're gonna look. For once, I can actually say the fans actually chanted, "This is awesome" for a good reason, and the good reason alone, that was actually a fantastic one. And the good reason why, what made it even more special, you saw the debut of Jeff Cobb. Now, the thing is, when I heard the rumours and speculations of Jeff Cobb, I've never got around to doing my video where I actually was going to talk about my thoughts and opinions, what WWE could do with Jeff Cobb. You know, I never got a chance to because I didn't think he was going to debut like last night. If anything, I thought he was going to be a part of Paul Heyman's group. You know, between him, Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins. You know, to start that group off, but no, it seems like you sort of doing another bloodline sort of thing, or you're doing it. It just threw me how they've actually thrown Jeff Cobb straight away into the main roster. I'm really, really, really am surprised. Not surprised, but surprised. I was. They could have easily put him in NXT, which stereotypical you would think they were actually going to do something like that, but they didn't. You know, I'm really, really surprised the way they did it. But that, in itself, alongside with the next match following that, Lyra versus Becky Lynch, the match I was looking forward to, that delivered. Lyra got the victory. Then obviously Becky did the beat down again, to the point where now she had WWE officials and everything attacking her. So it's going to lead her to be suspended, so she can do her Star Trek film and all that lot, that sort of angle. But I'm literally. The thing is, with these two openers, you had prestige towards the women's IC title, with Lyra getting the victory. It was absolutely a freaking tremendous match. Between these first two, I wouldn't mind those being the main event. I wouldn't mind a rematch between, obviously, the likes of Becky and Lyra. Where could they go from this? Are they going to do an I Quit match, or are they going to do a submission match? Because they need to do more with this. Because Becky's so determined to get this IC title, and she was dumbfounded when she lost. And the thing is, though, I feel like it started off crap, this feud, because, as you know full well, I'll shit on it if it was, but they rushed into this feud. They could have built it up for this. They could have easily had this built towards the Women's All pay-per-view. That would have got people talking. But they rushed into this. Where else can they go with this? I know Becky's distraught that she lost and everything like that. Stereotypical. I would be if I lost a match. But you got to think, right? It's just such a good match, and I was literally blown away with it. Then I look at the likes of Dominic versus Penta. Dominic's come a long way. This is for the IC title. I'm surprised they were literally. The thing is with this, how great this was as well. But it weren't actually the level of Becky and Lara. I'm not saying something. But it was a solid match. Dominic Mysterio got the victory. And I'm sick of the El Grande Americano gimmick. I really am sick and tired of this already. I've already said my piece and I'm not going to say it again, how I feel towards this. But with the interference with Carlito, Finn Balor, Jordan Devlin, they could interfere, but the officials rejected them out of the arena before they even got interfered. But the Americano bit, I didn't like, to be honest. He shown up. He did the headbutt, and the ref was dealing with whilst Judgment Day was being done. I'm like, and then got the Are they going to put El Americano in with Judgment Day, or whatever the class does now? I'm so confused, But it was actually a good match. Then one match had technically was not that fussed about Gunther versus Pat McAfee. Now that's not disrespecting Gunther, but the way WWE are handling him at the moment is the longest IC champion reign ever. He drops it to Sami Zayn, then he gets in the world title picture, then he drops it at WrestleMania to main event Jey Uso. That's what I mean. I feel like with WWE, I feel like they literally are limiting Gunther what he can actually do. You know, and so what did they do? Put him against a feud against Pat McAfee. I was not too fussed about that match. Then we had the main event with John Cena and Randy Orton. That was an okay match, don't get me wrong. It was an okay match. It proves they both still can go to the ring. It proves that Randy Orton's going to turn heel. But I'm just thinking, when I look at this card, that what we had, we technically had a 4 match. Did we have a 4 match or a 5 match? They're doing that trick again. Wait, 1, 2, 4, that 5 match trick, right? It's weird. They're doing 5 matches again. It was only like, I think it felt like only a 3-hour pay-per-view. I could be wrong. I didn't check at the time when I literally turned it off. I just turned it off. And then woke up that not that long ago. And I'm like, stop building just 5 matches. Because I feel like it's hard to buy the fans. When it comes to a PLE, you would expect it to be a 4-hour. Not a 3-hour. When it comes to a PLE, you'd think it'd be a lot better than it has. But like I'm saying, it was a good PLE. It delivered for the first 2, maybe 3 matches. At the first 2, I won't mind as the main event compared to what was the main event. Your selling point. And it's just, it's I can't put it into words. I really can't. Because when I've already said about on the weekly products that I feel like they are future-proofing themselves, they're teasing towards new feuds to sell stuff in the future, mixed in with what's already happening, which you technically would have thought would be happening at this PLE, if that makes any sense. You know, you literally, you teach Logan Paul versus main event Jey Uso. You sort of tease that, but it's not happened at the PLE. You know, and on SmackDown with the women's title was Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton. Where was it? At least one thing I can take away from this: you're actually using the mid-card titles worthwhile. You know, you made it credibility for the women's IC title. Even though the build for this storyline was shite, you could have done a lot better. But it delivered at the end like I was hoping it would. As people, if you've watched my other reviews, it will tell you. I'll tell you straight, I was only one match I was looking forward to. But with Jeff Cobb now in WWE, that threw me. That excites me, technically, because I didn't see him go that direction with Jeff Cobb. because I don't normally listen to the rumours, but I was going to do, like I've mentioned, I was going to do a whole video on that, possibly this week, what they could have do with him. But sure enough, I didn't see any reports that he was going straight to the main roster. I saw reports he was signed, but man. So basically, you got two powerhouses now on each brand. You got Braun Breaker on Raw. You got Jeff Cobb on SmackDown. Are you building a new bloodline, or are you building a new host? It's so wide open. It's so wide open. But that's just my quick thoughts anyway. I'm just dumbfounded, really. The rush Jeff Cobb into the main roster, but in a good sense. But I'm hoping they stop this exhibition stuff on the weekly products. Because at the moment, since I've been watching Raw and SmackDown properly, it just feels like a glorified house show. You know? But I feel like when I look at the first 2, maybe 3 matches, was better than some of the matches that we saw at WrestleMania. Now that's a good thing, because you've literally got more off the card than you realise. You know, and that's not me being fickle or picky, that's just me being honest. You know, you look at the way last night was. You did what you did with it, but it's interesting. It's an interesting thing what WWE are doing, but the content they are giving is not worth the ticket prices over the threshold to go and watch it live. You know, I'm dreading to see what tickets are going to be for Monday Night Raw when they're in Birmingham. I'm not going, obviously, because I'm going Forbidden Door. You know, but solid ass pay-per-view. Sorry, PLE. Right, I'm off. And you know what? I know I sound fed up, and hello, I'm not. I'm just still burned out. Hope you can understand. But until next time, guys. Keep hitting that subscribe button. Obviously, tell me your thoughts down below as well. Keep hitting that subscribe button. Keep hitting that bell icon, so be in and updated anytime when I do any videos right here on this platform. Catch you guys soon.